So I'm going to show you some possibilities of how to defend against a knife on the ground. Now I want to make this perfectly clear. These are just some possibilities, right? I'm just showing you some techniques on the ground. In all sincerity, for you to see if this works for yourself, you need to actually spar this stuff. Keep in mind too, this doesn't negate the fact that you should train in some kind of grappling art like wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to understand the nuances on the ground. Right now I'm showing it mechanically and really stiff, but there's a lot going on here and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. There's a lot of things that Oliver can do just by moving his joint in a particular way to diffuse the techniques I'm going to use against him. So please keep in mind this is called a soft construct. These are just some possibilities here, right? You need to spar and see if the stuff is effective for you and when would you actually do these particular techniques, okay? And again, to reiterate for all those people, I do not want to be on the ground with a knife. This is the circumstances where I found myself on the ground and he pulled a knife on me, and unfortunately I have to deal with the situation. Common sense dictates that I don't want to be anywhere with someone that has a knife, especially on the ground. I end up on the ground, he's on my guard, he's gonna swing that angle number one, I'm gonna block it. All right, so I'm gonna use my shin and my hand to block it. I'm gonna get the wrist as much as possible. I'm gonna kick up behind his lat muscle to break his posture. I'm going to get for this bent arm effect here, I'm gonna put on a Kimura. All right, notice when I get the Kimura on him, I'm gonna glue him down to my chest. I'm gonna shrimp out as much as possible. So in effect, his shoulder is on the ground. All right, and give loud commands for him to drop the knife, or if use of force is necessary, right, I try to break that arm, right? That's one here. Now, another possibility is that he starts to straighten his arm. So you gotta watch your face. I straighten the arm. There's a possibility to get the razor arm lock right here. You can see that there's pressure behind his elbow, and I'm gonna do like a crunching motion. You know the exercise crunching? I crunch towards him. Good. The blade keeps moving around. You got to watch your face here. Now, this is where things get messy. This hand here that was originally on the wrist is going to grab his head, and I break his posture. I pull his head inside here. Now, I got a nice, good scarf hold. The danger here is twofold. A, he could punch me in the face, so I have to take care of that, or he could switch hands, so you have to be able to block that. So I'm trapping his hand as much as possible. Of course, I can affect some strikes, but I cannot stay here. This is where the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can save us. So sooner or later, once I feel it's safe, and the only way you notice is by training this and sparring this kind of stuff, is that this hand that was monitoring right here is gonna go for the underhook. All right, I go for the underhook. I'm gonna do a basic ball sweep from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. My leg is gonna flower out or helicopter like this, and this adductor is going to help me push him over this way. At the same time, I'm looking into his ear. This is why it's very important to understand grappling arts, in this case, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I pick up these nuances on these techniques. So here, I'm going to helicopter sweep, get the ball underneath, the grab underneath, and I pull him and I roll him over that way. Once I get to this position, I give him the hips. All right, this leg is slightly out. I don't want it against his back because maybe he'll roll back into me. All right, I have no base there. So this knee is tight to his body and I have a semi-base right here, like a kickstand. Now, of course, here I can start punching. All right, maybe he starts to block with that hand. So now I'm gonna earthquake it, I shake it down, and I'm gonna switch my base. I'm gonna staple this arm with this leg. Again, I'm giving him the hips and I'm hitting him. When I feel like disengaging, I do not let go of this hand. All right, so I don't do something like this, where I stand up and now he's gonna slice all inside there. All right. At the last possible second, I'm going to monitor here at the elbow and the shoulder, and I move towards his head, and I make my escape. Now let's see the whole thing. He swings, I block. This is lock number one, Kimura. This is the razor arm lock. He keeps bringing it all the way around. I'm able to capture his head, and now I go for the ball sweep. Hit a couple times, switch my base. Hit again, and then disengage.